Hey everyone, welcome back. Jason Hitchings here with Adept Defense. Out on the range today doing a little bit of product testing, and I am finally ready to bring you guys my review of the Trijicon SRO. For those of you that didn't know, Trijicon rolled out the new SRO pistol-mounted red dot optic just this year. And this was kind of made to take care of the competition shooter side of the house. So you guys probably know that I've run Trijicon RMRs just about exclusively for the last 5 years. I absolutely love the RMR optic. They're extremely rugged, very bomb-proof optic. I have one on all my carry guns and absolutely trust my life to it. They've been phenomenal. Now, there's been a few requests by people that shoot competition. Now, USPSA, since they've rolled out their carry optics division, which you have to have a slide-mounted red dot, people love the durability of the RMR, but they've been requesting a larger window and a top-loading battery. So, Trijicon answered that call. They designed the SRO with a larger window for competition. Give you a view of that. Nice big window on there. And then it utilizes the same footprint as what the RMR did. So if you already have a gun that's cut for an RMR or takes the RMR plates that you bolt on, this optic bolts right up. This is my Agency Arms Glock 17. It is cut for a Trijicon RMR. I've run an RMR on it for the last couple years. Bought the SRO about 3 months ago, bolted it right on this gun, and haven't looked back since. I've been absolutely loving this optic. So I've run it in a few competition shoots now, a couple classes, quite a bit of personal practice. Like I said, I've had it for a few months now. I've finally got enough rounds behind it, enough time behind it to where I feel pretty comfortable giving you guys a review and an opinion on it. So like I said, one thing that they came out with that was a huge improvement over the RMR is this top-loading battery compartment. Those of you that are familiar with the RMR, the battery sits underneath the optic. So in order to change that battery, you have to unbolt the optic, take it off the slide, change out the battery, bolt it back up, then reconfirm your zero. So that's a little bit of a process for people. It requires another trip to the range. Now with the top loading battery compartment, I can show this on camera here. All right, right there, top loading battery compartment, unscrew that compartment, pop a new battery in, you're good to go. You don't need to unbolt it from the gun. You don't need to re-zero after a battery change. So that was huge for me. That's a big selling point, very, very nice. Now the bigger window, that wasn't necessarily something I thought that I needed. I've had so much time behind an RMR, I'm used to the RMR window size, but now that I've put some time behind this, I absolutely love the bigger field of view that this has. Now a couple other things. They offer some different dot sizes. They offer a 1 MOA, which this one is, a 2.5 MOA, and a 5 MOA. So those are a little bit different dot sizes than what they offer with the RMR. The 1 MOA is new for me. They do offer a 1 MOA in the RMR. I have not played with one of those at all. I've had the 3.25 and the 6.5. I currently have 2 of the 6.5s. That's what's on my carry gun. I just started carrying this gun now that I'm really confident with this setup, and so far I've absolutely loved the 1 MOA. Now the last USPSA match that I was at, some people were questioning, is that 1 MOA too small of a dot to be able to pick it up fast enough for competition shooting? So I'm going to try to show you guys, put the gun in front of the camera, let you guys see through the window what the dot looks like. I also brought a 6.5 MOA RMR so you guys can kind of compare what the two dot sizes look like. Now I've found if I want the dot to be a little bit bigger, all I have to do is adjust the brightness settings on the side. So I hit this plus button, it brightens up that dot, and it can actually make it bloom a little bit so it looks a little bit bigger. So when I run competition, I probably run it one setting higher intensity than I need it to be, just so it's really bold, bright, and a little bit bigger. So that's kind of the answer with the 1 MOA. Now if I'm shooting for precision and accuracy, trying to put together a really tight group from 25 yards or beyond, I can dim it back down, get that really nice, crisp, fine 1 MOA dot, and put together a lot more accurate group than what I'm capable of with the 6.5 MOA, just because the 1 MOA dot covers less of my target. So pretty simple concept, but I've really liked it so far, and I'll try to give you guys a view of what it looks like. Alright, downrange here I've got an 8-inch steel plate. Here is the SRO with the 1 MOA dot. As you can kind of see on that plate, how that dot looks, how crisp it looks, how much of the plate it covers, and how fine of a dot that is. Now notice the field of view and how much you can see around that target through the optic. So that's something to note, and then we'll compare this with the 6.5 MOA of the RMR. Now, one thing I mentioned, if you want that dot brighter and bigger, adjust this brightness setting up. Now this dot blooms out a little bit bigger, a little bit brighter, and you can pick it up even faster. So like when I run competition, I'll usually run it at this brightness setting. It's still really quick to pick up, and I've absolutely been loving it. So let me grab my 6.5 MOA and give you a comparison. Alright, here's an RMR with a 6.5 MOA dot. Notice the field of view through the RMR is much smaller than that of the SRO, and then the dot size. I believe that 1 MOA dot is just as easy to pick up as a 6.5 MOA dot, but back at distance I'm able to dim that 1 MOA dot down a brightness setting and actually put together a tighter group than I can with the 6.5 MOA. Alright, back to the SRO. See if we can put a couple rounds on target so you can see how that dot tracks. With that nice big window, you never lose that dot under recoil. It comes right back. It's a little bit harder right now because I'm straddling a tripod looking through the camera to find the dot, so kind of plays a little bit of tricks with which way I have to move the gun and stuff with the viewfinder of the camera, but you kind of get the idea of how that dot tracks under recoil. Straddling this tripod, I'm not able to get as good of stance and grip as I would normally have, so the dot's moving a little bit farther, but it's still never leaving the window, and it's coming right back to where it should. That dot is just so easy to track, being that it never leaves the window. It just rises a little bit, comes right back to where it was before. It's very quick to shoot, easy to track. I'm definitely a fan of that bigger field of view. I have not had any issues with the dot so far with any kind of flickering or any negatives. No negatives whatsoever in the 3 months that I've had it. I've got about, I don't know, a couple thousand rounds behind it now. I haven't really tracked it since I started using the SRO. But I've got absolutely nothing negative to say about it. I would not have a problem concealed carrying this optic system. It was not necessarily built for duty use or concealed carry use, but with the experience I've had with it so far and the advantages that it gives me, I'm definitely confident to carry with this optic. The only real big question I had about the SRO when they first announced it was battery life. The RMRs are known for having really good battery life, at least 3 years out of each battery, and then for a concealed carry gun I change my battery once a year, which is well under what it's rated for, so I've never had any issues with the battery going dead, causing me flicker or anything like that on one of my carry guns, being that I change it every year. Now I'm happy to say that the Trijicon SRO has comparable battery life to the RMR, so I'll be on the same schedule as my RMR. I'll just change this battery out once a year. It takes the same 2032 battery as an RMR does, and being that my setup has all been pretty much centered around the Trijicon RMR, I'll be able to throw this one into my collection, into my carry rotation, run it with competition, just change out that battery once a year, and I'm good to go. So I'm definitely happy with the battery life, and I have nothing negative to say about the Trijicon SRO as of yet. If anything does go wrong with it, or if I do have any issues whatsoever, I'll quickly do a follow-up video, let you guys know what's going on. But with the RMRs, all the people that I've talked to that have had issues with them in the past, Trijicon is really good about taking care of its customers with their products. So you just email them, they'll want the optic back, they'll replace it or fix it, send it back to you. It's usually pretty quick, and they're usually really nice about it, and they care a lot about taking care of their customers and standing behind their products. So for me, Trijicon is one of those products that I trust. I run, obviously, their optics on my pistols. I also run their optics on my AR-15s. I've had nothing but great experiences with them. I'm Jason Hitchings with Adept Defense. Seek training, become adept.